DeAndre Hopkins in Arizona is averaging 11 catches a game. Odell Beckham Jr., who was a player on that level, he's a player of that caliber, has 11 catches for the whole season. This is a team that wants to run the football. How do they get him more involved?
Listen, the Browns need to run the football. This is where their team is going to have their bread buttered. But they also have to understand that Odell Beckham Jr. allows you to do that. Just having Odell Beckham Jr. on the field as that deep threat, having him as that true number one is huge for this team. And if you look across this roster, he is the one explosive player that is still left. So if you trade away Odell Beckham Jr. and you start to face these 8-man boxes play in and play out, now what does that do for the run game? We all know that Baker Mayfield's productivity, Baker Mayfield's success in the last 2 games have been predicated off of the play action pass, off of the boot game, which all starts with run. Odell Beckham Jr. is going to catch his passes. Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be a part of this offense, whether it's as a decoy or whether it's making plays. What Kevin Stefanski has to do, though, is continue to keep Baker Mayfield under control, and forcing the ball to 13 is not the way to do that.
I get it. One does worry a little bit about how long that will be okay. The receivers want to be a part of the game. We all understand that. Rob Ninkovich, what do you think of as far as that situation going forward? The Browns want to run the football, and they have the superstar on the outside.
Well, look, the last time I checked, the Bengals and Washington, I don't think those 2 teams are in any hunt for a playoff berth. And in both of those games, he was 16 for 23. I mean, what is that? I mean, it's okay, but they're going to run the football. You can't just rely on Baker to drop back and throw the ball down the field 30, 40 times. It's just not going to happen. He's not going to be able to do it. He's going to throw more picks than touchdowns. So, I mean, they have to, when they played the one team that's a good, legitimate team, they lost by a lot of points. So, moving forward for them, I'm going to have to just see them play against better competition for me to fully evaluate the quarterback position.
I'm good with that as well. But, Bart, let me come to you, because obviously, again, you're here, you're in New York, you're covering this. But Odell with the Giants, you watched him play with the Giants, and there were times I thought to myself, he's the best player in the whole league. Right. Odell Beckham might be the best player in the entire league. That guy, he's not. That's not what they're doing there right now. So long term, and by long term, I mean over the next month, what do you think that looks like?
Well, I think it looks like, a lot more of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. And that's what it should be. It should be about winning the ball game, because the one thing or the one narrative that has eluded Odell Beckham is the fact that he's not a winner. You can get all these stats, but they mean nothing. Everybody eats when we win. And if they run the ball with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, it's going to set the table for them so they can have these explosive plays. You talk about 2 running backs averaging over 5 yards a carry. That puts you in favorable second down, and that's when you're able to have these shots over the top off of play action. Less is more for Baker Mayfield. He should never throw the ball over 25 to 30 times is his window. And Odell, that's his time when he should impact the game. It's not about how many catches you have. It's about how pivotal and the timing of those catches.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, guys. The other thing, if you watch DeAndre Hopkins play, he makes a lot of layups. There are a lot of easy throws just to make sure the ball touches his hands. If Kevin Stefanski wants to get Odell Beckham Jr. involved, let's throw him some hitches. Let's throw him some quick outs. Let's throw him some quick screens. Allow him to get the ball in his hands and feel good about the game if we're focusing on Odell Beckham Jr. and keeping him engaged. But if this team wants to win, winning football games does not go through Baker Mayfield. It goes through the best duo of backs in the NFL, and that's Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. And if they ever get away from that, it's going to be way more problems in Cleveland than whether or not Odell Beckham Jr. can continue on his Hall of Fame run that he started in New York.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.